Karanji, Kanawla, Ghughara or Gujiya, whatever you say, is a must Diwali sweet. Different regions, obviously they have different recipes. Today we will see how to make khaja se kanole or a typical Karanji from Maharashtra. We are going to divide that in two parts. One is making a pastry. Now what is khaja? Khaja is like nice layered pastry, white in color, and it literally dissolves in the mouth. For that we need clarified butter or ghee, equivalent amount of semolina or rava or suji, and white flour or maida, and mixture of milk and water for pasting and kneading dough, but plain water is fine. Colors orange and green, or you can use whatever you like. Rice flour or corn flour to make paste. Poppy seeds, cardamom powder as a flavoring, ground or normal icing sugar, wheat flour or normal atta, desiccated or shredded dry coconut. Maybe we'll need little bit of salt for taste. Now I have taken 1 cupful of each. We'll mix these two things together. Rava, then maida, whatever sequence is not important, doesn't matter. Pinch of salt, and here I have a ghee. We'll just heat it up and we'll make mohan. Now what is mohan? Mohan is hot oil or any kind of fat. Let us switch on the gas. Here I have this typical, we call it as pot or a spoon for tempering. This is real good thing, heating small amount of oil or ghee. And what is the role of this hot oil or any hot fat is like it breaks down this flour in such a way that it becomes crispy. Our ghee is sufficient hot. Now this goes on top of this. Now it's mixed nicely, and here goes our mixture of milk and water. Be careful not to add too much of milk all of a sudden, because we are not at all supposed to make it bit sort of runny dough. This dough should be firm. At the moment you can feel this is a bit soft. Don't worry, because semolina is added into it. So what semolina will do, it will absorb all the moisture from this mixture of milk and water. After kneading it nicely, we'll keep it aside for maybe 30-40 minutes. Couple of hours is the best. One very important thing is we have to cover this with wet cloth. Here I have a hojire cloth, a piece of nice clean hojire cloth. I have moistened it with water and I'm simply covering it. Let it sit, let it rest, and that suji or like big texture of grains with maida, they will blend together, and later on we have to pound it and make it homogeneous mixture to make nice flaky pastry. We have switched on the gas because now we'll be making stuffing. So first goes in grated coconut. We have to saute it or roast it to pinkish brown in color. Always remember, if we are roasting different kind of things, like even different kind of flours or masalas or these poppy seeds, coconut and this atta, we can't mix these things together and roast it. No, it won't be proper. Different substances, they have different burning points. For instance, this coconut, it will get browned or burnt very quickly, caramelized very quickly. We don't want that. If we toss it this way, this is the best thing. I have seen this is the best method to roast anything. I'm avoiding this. The reason I'm telling, this has very small contact point. What happens? This touches a little portion of that pan. Pan is very big, and then rest of the area it might get burnt. Have you seen? It's such a nice pinkish brown or light golden brown. Now let us stop here. Roasting these poppy seeds. Be very careful not to burn it. If it burns, it will taste bitter. So it has already changed the color. It's sufficient hot now. It goes on top of it. This is our third ingredient, and that is atta or wheat flour. I'm roasting it quickly. We have to be very careful to roast this atta golden brown, not to burn it or not to keep it less roasted. Here I can smell it, it's roasting nicely. Yeah, nice. If we are not confident enough, like whether it is properly roasted or not, just taste it. That's the best thing to do. Yeah, it's roasted. And we can see the change in color as well. Now switching off the gas, and this goes on top of it. So far, we have put basic three very important key ingredients in this stuffing. Now we haven't added any sugar. We have to cool it off, because if we add sugar at this point, what happens is this is hot, so this will melt the sugar. We absolutely don't want that. So let it cool off, maybe another 15-20 minutes. That's it. And later on we'll add that cardamom powder and sugar, and we'll mix it lightly. While this mixture is getting cooled off, let us work on this dough. We have to pound this dough because we have to make this pastry crispy, even textured. Blisters shouldn't be there. So on plain, clean surface, this is a traditional way of pounding a dough. So just keep folding this, pound it. And I remember when I was a small kid, my mom used to give me this work. Now we can see, because it has that white flour or maida, it has become a bit elastic. The texture is becoming smoother and smoother. If we have planetary mixer, that's the best thing. Keep the mixing speed on medium, and with the help of dough hook, we have to mix this together. This dough is smooth, nice. And as we are going to make Tricolour Karanji or Kanawla, I'll divide this dough in 3 equal parts, because we have to add color into it. One, I'll just keep it aside, and as usual, this is wet cloth, I'll cover it. And these two, we have to add color slowly. Always keep in mind that color of the dough should be darker, because when we fry it, it will become light in color. So if we see here, it's taking a bit time to mix it together, but don't worry. Once we rest it, it will get mixed properly. If needed, we can pound it a little bit. Let us keep this aside next to this, cover with wet cloth. Always remember to clean the surface, because once we mix different colors, what happens is like it shouldn't be a mix of 2 colors. Now for an example, this green color and orange will make it brown. We don't want brown pastry. So I have cleaned the surface thoroughly. Here goes our third color, that is green. Now see, it's like marble-like effect. If you want to keep this way, don't worry, it will give some different effect to your Kanawla or Karanji. But I want to make it in 3 distinct layers and patterns. Add just a little bit of more color. Done. To mix it well. See, now you can see color is mixed properly. Third color for our Tricolour Karanji. 1, 2, 3. We'll cover it as usual with wet cloth. Why it is always necessary to cover with wet cloth? Simple reason. If that surface gets dried up, your pastry won't be nice. Our pastry is layered or flaky. We are using 3 colors. Now, how to make sure that this becomes flaky or separated? we have to add some mixture into it. It's a layering thing. Here is little bit of rice flour and I have some ghee. Instead of rice flour, we can use corn flour. Don't worry about it. Anything is fine. And I'm mixing it together. And because of this friction, some heat is generated and it is getting mixed properly. Now it's nicely done. And consistency of toothpaste. So one part is ready. One by one, I'll be taking these colored doughs, dividing in two, and with the rolling pin, roll it roti like thing. If you want to avoid like sticking on the surface, yeah, this is thick roti like thing. 1 and 2, almost of equal size. And here our this paste comes handy. I'm just punching not holes but kind of pits onto this dough. I'm taking a little bit of this paste. So this uneven texture or this pitted texture will hold this paste made out of ghee, and putting this second layer and doing same thing here. Keep it aside just for a while. Take this dough, divide into two, roll it same size. Again layer it with this, press it, fill the paste and cover it just to make sure it's like of same size. Yeah, should be okay. Take it, cover it. So in all, we'll be giving 6 layers to our pastry and 3 colors. Now the key thing here is don't add too much, don't add too less. If it is too much, those pastry layers will get separated while we are deep frying, and don't put 2 layers, otherwise those 2 layers they'll stick together and there won't be a layer kind of thing. Now I'm taking this third dough, dividing it into 2. Yeah, it is soft like, because we have pounded it nicely. The more you pound, the best results you'll get. Just make sure there are no air pockets in this. And here goes the last layer. This Khajaji Karanji is a bit lengthy process, but end results are awesome. So don't worry, sometimes we have to work hard to celebrate our Diwali or whatever festivals we have. I'm just lightly rolling it. The reason is if there are any air pockets inside, they'll get out. And see, next to this we'll be slightly rolling or folding this, and while squeezing we'll just pull this apart. So I'm slowly stretching this and making sure like these layers they don't come off. Now don't worry, even if it is separating like this, I'm just touching little hand of this milk and water so it will seal it properly. That's it. And just flatten it, and as usual keep in this bowl covered with wet cloth. It is always crucial to keep this covered with wet cloth. The only reason is if it keeps drying, all these layers will get separated, no use. Such a nice layers. Press it like this. I'll quickly cut it and then I'll cover it. While these cut pieces are resting, we'll finish with 3 things like desiccated coconut, atta and poppy seeds. We need to grind a little bit, not much, because of chopping, finely chopping action of this mixer or grinder. This will release the oils and that will release the aroma. So oil from poppy seeds and oil from coconut. Don't grind it too much, otherwise it will be lumpy. So just a little bit of kind of whiz, that's it. That's enough. This is ground in fine powder like thing. This grinding of mixture is very important when we use coconut shreds. Desiccated coconut is fine, because it's very fine, that kind of. But when it is shredded, we have to make sure that this mixture is of rough texture but powdery. Into it goes cardamom powder. Now slowly add into it this ground sugar or icing sugar. Mix it well. Yeah, sometimes there are lumps, see, of sugar. So just make sure it is properly mixed. In the meantime, we'll start heating up the oil. Here I use sunflower oil, and we can use canola oil, but it should be refined, because if it is like just raw oil, it will give that typical flavor of oil, and we don't want nutty flavors into our Karanji. So just to keep that original taste, and the best thing for the taste is ghee or clarified butter. From health point of view, I don't suggest clarified butter. Taste wise, awesome. Now oil is sufficient hot. We have to be very sure that oil is not too hot, because if it is too hot, what happens is this will get caramelized and it will lose the color. We want to keep those colors as fresh as possible. One by one, we'll pick this up, flatten it and roll it in round shape. I'm using this rice flour just to make sure it's not sticking to the board. Now this stuffing mixture is too dry, so we have to add a little bit of milk. Actually use your hands, because hands can sense the things properly. Here is the round rolled dough, and we have to keep this saran or stuffing on bit right side or where this curve is. When we fold this or overlap this, we need to have some sufficient space there, and with the help of milk we'll just seal it. It will get stuck together. Close it tightly and it will not get separated. Use this cutter. We'll make few batches of this Kanawla or Karanji, and as told, always we'll cover it with wet cloth, not too wet, but wet cloth. Now I'm stuffing this, and I remember my Aji or my grandmom, my father's mom. She literally used to get annoyed and pissed off, there was one reason. She used to say, don't fill this stuffing very small stuffing and big cavity and all that thing. Don't make rattles out of it. Oil is sufficient hot, moderately hot. We don't want hot oil like bhajiya or something. So slowly we'll fry it. One by one I'm putting these karanjis into it. And we are not supposed to touch it. Touch it in the sense, not like bhajiya or something, because it will disturb the pastry of it. Now we can see these layers are there. They are getting separated. If we see here, literally there are no blisters.